Today we're going to talk about the importance of having strong intrinsic foot muscles, specifically how these muscles can protect us from pain and injury and how they can improve our athletic performance. I'm Grant Spear with St. John's Chiropractic and Performance. Now let's dive in. Our intrinsic foot muscles begin near our heel bone and then they attach down here near the beginning of our toes. These muscles are the best stabilizers for our foot. They also help us absorb shock, they help us move our toes around, and they help us support our arch. These muscles are typically ignored by most clinicians, therapists, and exercise programs because we don't often think about our intrinsic foot muscle strength being crucial for our musculoskeletal health and for our athletic performance. We already know that having weak intrinsic foot muscles puts you at more risk for having plantar fasciitis, and also it puts elderly people more at risk for falls. But we also have research to show that strengthening your intrinsic foot muscles can improve your athleticism. This first study had their subjects do 8 weeks of intrinsic foot strengthening 3 times a week. In the end, not only did their intrinsic foot muscles get stronger, but they also showed significant increases in their vertical jump height, in their single leg broad jump, and they had significant improvement in their 50-meter sprint. This is likely because increasing the strength of your intrinsic foot muscles means giving your foot more stability, which means giving your foot a more stable base to work off of. Intrinsic foot strengthening also decreases the tension in your calves and hamstrings, which can relax those muscles and allow them to be ready to fire when needed. This next study was done with amateur runners as the subjects, and they performed 6 weeks of intrinsic foot muscle strengthening every day. At the end of those 6 weeks, it was shown that they had increased mobility throughout most areas of their body, not just around their feet and ankles. This is also likely due to the fact that increased stability in our foot can allow for decreased tension in our calves and hamstrings. This decreased tension in our calves and hamstrings can allow us to move better throughout our body. So there you have it. Increasing your intrinsic foot muscle strength can decrease your risk for plantar fasciitis. It can decrease the risk for falls in the elderly population. It can increase your vertical jump height. It can increase your sprint speed, and it can allow for more mobility throughout your body. Be sure to stay tuned for a future video on the best ways to strengthen your intrinsic foot muscles. I'm Grant Spear with St. John's Chiropractic and Performance.